In this instructional video, we'll go over how to operate the Newberry 1972 hydraulic 50-ton injection molding machine in the plastics lab, which is room 113 of the Ross Engineering Technology building at Western. This video is intended for students who have completed or are currently enrolled in ETech 333 and have gone through the injection molding demo but would like a review on how stuff works. Remember that safety glasses must be worn at all times in the plastics lab. Be aware that the nozzle and mold can get very hot, so use hot gloves when removing a stuck sprue from the nozzle, or removing parts that get stuck in the mold. When removing a stuck sprue, be careful not to smack your hand on the ejector pins of the mold. The barrel has a heat shield, so as long as you don't reach around the heat shield, you don't have to worry too much about the heat from the barrel. Also, be careful not to get pinched by the mold door when closing, and watch your step around the machine. Avoid tripping over the water lines and tubes behind the machine, and avoid slipping on any water and resin that is collected on the floor in front of the machine. Hot gloves can be found in the middle drawer of the cabinet next to the rotomolding machine. The brass screwdriver and hammer are located in these drawers. Injection molding is a manufacturing process in which parts are produced by injecting a molten material into a mold cavity at high pressure, which then solidifies into the shape of the mold cavity. First, ground chunks of plastic are fed into a hopper. The plastic enters a barrel where it is melted by heaters surrounding the barrel and mixed with a rotating screw. Then the molten plastic is injected into the mold at high pressure. As the plastic cools in the mold, it shrinks, so pressure is maintained to allow more molten plastic to flow into the mold, filling any additional space. The screw is retracted to refill the reservoir for extrusion, and then the mold is opened and the part is ejected from the mold. Now we will go over the procedure for operating the Newberry injection molding machine, assuming that the resin currently being used does not need to be changed. Before using the machine, sign in and fill out the machine log on the Newberry clipboard, which can be found on the right side of the machine. Fill in all the information, including your names, class, time you used the machine, which mold you are using, and the last resin used. Check what resin is currently in the hopper and determine the appropriate temperature for that material using the cheat sheet located next to the machine. If necessary, make adjustments to the temperature using the controls shown here. Begin by turning on the hopper to dry the resin in the hopper. Turn the main power switch to power on the machine. Turn the water valve to the up position to help cool the motor. Turn on the motor using the yellow button. If the motor won't turn on, make sure that the nozzle guard is down, back gate closed, and main power is on. After turning the motor on, turn on mold temp control. If already on, first turn it back off and back on. Allow about 15 minutes for the machine to heat up and melt the resin. Refer to the directions posted on the injection molder to start the machine properly. You will also want to make sure that the ball valve located behind the machine is open in order for the mold to function. Once the machine is heated, locate the control panel to the right of the mold. Start the cycle with the mold open, ejector pins back, barrel full with screw back, and carriage forward against the screw bushing. Close the mold and watch for the clamp to lock. If the mold won't close, make sure the ejector pins are in the back position. Consider adjusting mold force by adjusting the chain, or make sure the semi-manual auto knob is at manual. Inject resin into the mold by turning the screw switch to the inject position and hold for the set amount of injection time while watching the timer on the control panel. Once the timer times out and the light turns off, release the switch. Refill the barrel for extruding by turning and holding the extrude switch until the extruder is moved all the way to the right, which can be seen through the grating next to the barrel. Wait for the part to cool and open the mold. Then eject the part using the switch to the right of the mold switch. Retract the ejector pins and repeat the previous steps listed here to create a new part. If the part gets stuck and doesn't eject from the mold, open the mold cage door and carefully reach in and remove the part. The plastic may still be hot, so consider using hot gloves. There are hot gloves in the middle drawer of the cabinet next to the rotomolding machine. If you get an incomplete part, or if you're experiencing flash with your part, adjustments can be made to injection size using the knob on the right side of the extruder. If plastic is oozing between the nozzle and sprue bushing, make sure the carriage is in. Make sure the nozzle is clean and seal between nozzle and sprue bushing is clean, or reduce injection pressure. If plastic is oozing out of the nozzle when the carriage is back, reduce the back pressure all the way. Make sure the material is dry by turning on the hopper dryer, or reduce barrel and nozzle temperature. If plastic sticks in the A-side sprue bushing, pull on the sprue from inside the mold with your hand or a heated brass sprue puller. Tap on the sprue with a brass rod and dead blow hammer, or make adjustments to the machine to increase the shrinkage of the plastic in the mold. When finished using the machine, shut everything off in reverse order of starting up the machine, as follows. Turn off mold temperature control, turn off the motor, turn off the water valve, turn off the main power switch, and finally turn off the hopper dryer. Replace all tools to their proper locations and clean up the area using the brooms and dustpans available in the shop.